Okay folks, welcome back. We are here again in the long dark. Obviously we've completed the Wipeout. I'm still calling it Wipeout challenge. I'm so glad we finished that because I can't get it right. The Whiteout challenge, we finished that one. So we're going to go back into the long dark. There hasn't been any other updates since I finished filming that one. So we're going to go back into a Sandbox game. We're going to try and hit that 50-day target, which is still a bit elusive. And we're going to head back into the Sandbox. So let's start a new Sandbox game. You can't remember what that is. So I'm going to start... In fact, let's delete that one because I don't even know what it is. Let's get rid of that, and we shall start ourselves a new one. I am going to go for the... in fact, we have actually got... This is Interloper. I was right, it is Interloper. I mentioned that in the last video, but I wasn't sure if I had it right. I'm not going to go into Interloper. I'm going to stick with... Do you know what? I'm going to go for Stalker. I've never played it at Stalker level. So this could be very interesting. Ooh, things are getting a bit loud with the game audio there. Okay, so we're going to go into Stalker mode. I'm not going to start it on Tip Wolf Mountain. That's just asking for trouble. We can start on Mystery Lake. Eeny meeny. I'm going to be the bloke. I haven't been the bloke for a while. And we're going to call this one Sandbox. Whoops, I didn't spell Sandbox. Okay, had to get away from that very, very loud wind noise. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start another game. Now, a few little things that are going to be a little bit different about this series. First of all, I'm going to knock it down to half an hour. So each video we're going to try and keep pretty much as close as I can to half an hour. It just makes it a bit easier for me to film them, fit them into the schedule. We're still going to go for 2 days a week. Release dates, hopefully. And we'll just try and see how long we can survive. We're in Stalker mode, so we've upped the difficulty level from what I'm traditionally used to. Oh, that's quite a good starting point. That's a very good starting point, actually. Oh, very good, perfect. Right, okay, let's head down to the logging camp then. Weather's not great. Obviously, this being Stalker mode, I'm expecting the weather to be a little bit more difficult. Let's pick some sticks up as we go down the hill. Haven't really seen that many, but there's a few. So, starting a new game for anybody new to the Long Dark who's never seen the Sandbox games before. Welcome to well, this is real survival in the Long Dark. The challenge that we were doing isn't really. It was just something slightly different, but this time we are going to be going for as long as we can. A very different environment, a very different way of doing things. So if you're watching the Whiteout challenge and you haven't really seen anything else in the Long Dark, this is slightly different to what we were doing in the Whiteout challenge. So first things first, we've got very lucky here. We've spawned very, very close to some shelter. Ooh, and we've got a pry bar outside, so I'm going to take that. They're just little rocks, okay. Okay, I'm going to jump inside here. And obviously when we start the game, when we're in survival mode, we've got very, very basic things with us. So I'm going to start this from scratch. So we're going to go, this is the main menu, where you can see all the different things that we can do. Okay, so we have a first aid section, which at the moment we have no afflictions. We're not injured, we're not ill, so I can't go into there, but you'll see that as we develop if we get injured. We have the dropping decoys. That's something you can do when you're being chased by wildlife, hostile wildlife. You can drop a decoy, which is usually a food item that you're carrying. It will drop one. I'm not carrying any, so I can't drop anything. Crafting, we can do some basic crafting here. Without having a crafting table. More complicated things we have to have crafting tables, and for even more complicated things we have to have certain tools, but we can do very basic crafting from here without having to do much. So we can make tinder plugs, which we need to light fires with. We can do that from sticks or from newsprint, newspaper, and things like that. We can make a flaming torch, which obviously gives us light and a bit of heat, and we need some reclaimed wood, some cloth and some lamp oil in order to do that. It used to be called kerosene, by the way. It's now apparently called lamp oil. The Old Man's Beard wound dressing, that's quite a useful thing to have, because that can help heal you if you get injured or attacked by a wolf or something like that. You need the Old Man's Beard lichen, which we gather from the trees, and an ordinary bandage. And you can craft a bandage from cloth, or you'll find them as you scavenge. And we have a hook and a line, which obviously we can use for fishing. So that is the crafting menu. Weapons, I'm not carrying any, but when we do, we can cycle through our weapons. At the moment, the bow and arrow and the rifle are the only weapons in the game. And you can craft a bow and arrow, but obviously you can't craft a rifle, you have to find one. Journal is what keeps a record of what we're doing. Okay, so this is our summary so far. Obviously, it's not very much in there. And I could also write some notes. So we're going to be doing that as we go through this. We didn't do that in the Whiteout Challenge series, but we're going to be back to doing that again here. And we have our skills. Now, these will improve as we do things. At the moment, we are level 1 in absolutely everything, because so far we haven't done anything. But as we start to do our repairs, as we start to do fishing, starting fires, cooking, things like that, our cooking skills or our fire starting skills will increase, and it will increase the chance of us being successful, because certain things you have a percentage chance of being successful, and the more skill level you have, the more that the chance of you being successful is. Collectible items, there are some collectible items in the game, or at least there will be very soon. I believe there might actually be some out there at the moment, but I'm not 100% sure. And we've got some detailed statistics. Obviously at the moment we've not really done a massive amount of stuff, so as we go through we'll have a look at these and see how they increase. So, here in the game once, let's just go back to this menu and have a quick look at the other things. We have light sources, we've got some flares, we're carrying our flare and a few matches. We can also get storm lanterns, obviously those flaming torches, brands for fires, and all sorts of different things we can use for light sources. Emergency stim is something which I've never used. It's a relatively new item. It's basically an adrenaline shot that gives you a massive boost of energy, although you then have a massive crash afterwards, so it really is for emergency use. I've never used one. We'll find them as we go around, we'll scavenge them. Campcraft. That's things like lighting fires, passing time, sleeping, and making snow shelters. So all things to do with your camping, and you'll see us use those as we go through. And obviously we're back around to crafting again. And this is the biggest part of our whole system. This is the backpack. If we go in here, this is the things that we are carrying. So this is basically everything that we're currently carrying, and we can also sort it by category. Several different categories. You can see there that we're not carrying any food, so we can't. There's nothing in there. But if you look at what we're carrying clothes. If it's ticked, it means we're wearing it. We're either wearing it or it's equipped. Obviously clothes we're wearing, but things like storm lanterns, if it's equipped, you'll see it ticked as well. You can see some of the medicine that we have. We have some painkillers, and we have some antiseptic. We've got some matches, a very small number of matches for starting fires. The pry bar that we just picked up from outside. We have a few sticks that we just picked up. We have one tinder plug, one flare, and we have some accelerant which will help us light fires. And that's pretty much it. That's all we've got at the moment. So what we're going to do is we go around through the game. For anyone who's never played the London before, obviously if you have, you know all of this, but if you've never played it, excuse me, if you've never played it before, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all these buildings. We're going to scavenge what we can, find resources, make resources, craft things, and survive as long as we can. That's basically the aim of the game. And to do that, we'll set ourselves up a base camp, and that will become our main operations hub while we're in this particular region, which is Mystery Lake, and then we'll move to a different region and we'll go and explore the wider world once we're a little bit better prepared, a little bit better equipped. As it stands at the moment, we're not in great condition. We haven't got much equipment, we haven't got any food, any water, and we haven't got very good clothes, so we're going to get frozen to death very, very quickly. On that note, here's our condition menu. So our condition, this is something that you just press the tab key and it brings it up. But you can see down here we've got about 10 hours of daylight remaining. It is not precise. It is done by what the weather looks like outside. If the weather conditions are particularly bad, you'll just see 3 question marks there because you don't know. You can't tell. You can't see the sun or the moon, so you don't know how many hours of daylight or darkness you have left. And you can see our 4 status bars, and the aim is to keep those bars as high up as we can. When they start to drop down into the red, and when they get to the bottom, your condition, which is that percentage score down at the bottom of that list, will start to drop. Obviously, if your condition hits 0, you die. And that's the end of it. Various different things cause your condition to drop. Obviously, at the moment, we are a bit cold, but you can see by that little arrow that our temperature is increasing, so that's good. We're well rested, but you can see the little arrow saying that our sort of fatigue level is increasing, so to speak. The level of rested is going down. We're getting tired slowly, and if we run or we walk, that'll drop faster. So what you're doing does affect that. We are slaked, i.e. we're hydrated. We're not thirsty. Again, when that hits the red, our condition will start to drop, and for that one it drops very, very quickly. And peckish basically means that we are okay food-wise. The calorie store indicates how much food we've got on board. When that again hits 0, your condition will start to drop. However, you can bring your condition back up again by sleeping. So what I tend to do is allow it to drop a little bit in order to preserve food, and then eat and drink before I sleep, and that obviously then brings my condition back up again. Your condition will improve when you sleep, so long as none of either the peckish or the slaked, or the peckish, the slaked, the food or hydration bars are in the red. If they're in the red, your condition will continue to drop. And if you are freezing and wherever you've chosen to sleep does not increase in temperature, you will also continue to get cold, and you'll probably freeze to death very quickly. You'll see this as we go along. Okay, so that's the little bit of a guide as to how the game works and all the different menus. So, what we're going to do is start to gather things. So we have some firewood, so we can pick that up. Crates, we can break that down. I am actually going to do that, just to show you. And it automatically puts the reclaimed wood that you get into your inventory. We have a book. Eventually they will be something that you can learn skills from and improve your skills. Right now they just make good firewood. Nothing in that drawer. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing on any of those shelves. We have an old bedroll, which we can, if we have a hunting knife, break that down into cloth, but we haven't got a hunting knife, so we can't do anything with that. Quick look at this plastic container. Nothing in there. Anything in the world, pretty much anything in the world now, you can break down, provided you have the right tools. That crate we can just break down. We don't need anything special to break it down with. Same with this chair, we can just break it down. We get 2 bits of reclaimed wood from the chair. But if I wanted to break down this bookshelf, I can't, because I need a hatchet. The same goes for things like metal shelves and things. You need hacksaws to break those down to get scrap metal out of them, which obviously you use for crafting. So, okay, so we've done a bit of a raid in here, not very much going, so let's head outside, let's leave the trailer. Now I did notice that we had 3 question marks on the time remaining, or the daylight, the time, which means it's a bit like that, it's not very good weather conditions, so we ain't going to be travelling anywhere in this, it really wouldn't be a wise idea, but we are going to cross over to one of the other trailers, and we'll go through these 3 trailers and see what we got. Okay, ooh, a bit more rich pickings in here. Check all the nooks and crannies, all the corners, underneath all the beds. And again, you can sleep in these beds. I'll show you that in a bit. And you also are carrying a bedroll. You can put that down pretty much anywhere and sleep in that. But you do have to bear in mind what the temperature is. A storm lantern! Hey, there we go. I like that animation. That's new. That's from the last update. We've picked up the storm lantern. And we've now automatically equipped it. You can press the H key to holster anything you carry. A down vest. So that's a piece of... Thank you very much. That's a piece of clothing. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, see if it's better than what we already have. Another crate down the corner. Again, I'm just going to break that down. Just because at this stage we need the firewood. Anything in the plastic container? No. Okay, so I think we've pretty much got everything from this trailer. Yep, okay, so let's head over to the other trailer. Okay, so we've kind of... Yeah, it's really bad out here. I'm not going to be going anywhere at any near future until this has calmed down a bit. So I think we're spending the first night in this playthrough in the trailers. So we have a flare. That's good. Anything in the drawer? Nada. Reclaimed wood. It's actually quite cool now looking at some of these on the notice boards. I think the notice boards have started to get a bit more detailed, and I think that might continue to change as well. The notice boards might get even more detailed. Okay. Ooh, we've got a couple of metal containers. Let's have a look, see if we've got anything. One thing I'm slightly concerned on is that I haven't got any food yet. I haven't really found any food. It's a bit worrying at this point. Okay, well we've been through all 3. Did I look in that drawer? Yes, I did. Okay, well we've been in all 3 of these trailers and we have not found any food, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Given the weather conditions outside, the fact we haven't got any food is going to be a bit of an issue, because we really need to move if we haven't got food. One of the downsides, the way you make water, by the way, which is our other obvious one, is to light fires, and you melt snow and boil water on fires. But in these trailers I can't light a fire inside. If I try, it won't let me. I have to do it outside. You can only start fires indoors in buildings with fireplaces or stoves, and none of these trailers have one. So I can't light a fire in here, which means I can't make any water, so I have to light it outside. But the weather conditions are so bad, I'm probably not going to be able to. So this is going to be a bit entertaining. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's still really, really bad. Okay, let's head back inside. Obviously we're in Stalker mode, so it's more difficult than what I'm used to. I think what I'm going to do... Let's have a quick look at my... I don't know how much daylight I've got left. I'm actually going to sleep. I'm going to sleep for... See if it'll let me sleep for 2 hours. Yes, it will. Okay. So obviously sleep improves your fatigue level. And it also restores any lost condition. Again, as long as your other bars are all in the green. Okay, I just need to keep an eye on the clock. Because I'm determined to keep these to time. Ah, that's a bit better. Weather conditions have improved. What's temperature like? -15, so it's pretty cold. And our clothing is not good. I'll explain the temperature stuff in a bit. Obviously, I'm aware for more experienced players this is teaching you how to suck eggs, but I'm trying to sort of help out any newcomers, anyone who's never played the Long Dark before, or anyone who kind of watched the Whiteout series and wants to know a bit more about the sort of main sandbox part of the game and how it all works. Maybe wants to play the game themselves, never played it before. So apologies to any more experienced players. I am kind of teaching you to suck eggs a little bit here, but okay, so we're now on the move, and obviously we have to be careful. We've got some hostile wildlife out here. We're in Stalker mode, which I believe means that wildlife starts to spawn immediately, whereas in the other modes it doesn't. Various difficulty settings. Pilgrim is the easiest. I think it's Voyager is the kind of middle, which is where I normally play, and Stalker is the hard level, and they've introduced now the Interloper, which is the kind of extreme difficulty setting, and that's relatively new. That came in the last update, which was only a few weeks ago, or a month or so ago. Yeah. I have all sorts of things going off on my phone, keeping an eye on this here timer. Okay, so what I'm doing, we're on the Mystery Lake map. Obviously I know this map very, very well, so I know where I'm going. If you're new to the game, you don't know the maps, moving around can be a bit of a challenge, because you don't have any kind of navigational aid other than knowing where you're going, really. So it's all about exploration and remembering things, landmarks and things like that. And here we are at the first of our landmarks, which of course is a railway line. Trade loading area. It's a new location. Now the only slight thing I've got here is I am getting pretty cold. It's -15 degrees. I'm not got particularly good clothing, so my clothing isn't keeping me warm. I'm getting pretty cold. So I need to move quite quickly. Where I'm heading... Ooh, I got stuck. Where I'm heading is a location called Camp Office. So for experienced players, you're going to know Camp Office. Camp Office is one of the best base camp locations in the game. Certainly when you first start to play, if you're on this map, if you're in this region, on Mystery Lake, Camp Office is one of the best places to go. It's nice and centrally located. It's a good building, it keeps you warm, it's got stoves in it, plenty of space, there's a bed in there so you don't have to use your bedroll and wear your bedroll out. It's generally just a good location. It also has the benefit of having a little bit of like a porch deck type thing, which gives you a bit of an opportunity to check for hostile wildlife before you actually step outside, because it just gives you a little bit of extra protection. They can still get you on there, but at least they can only get you from one direction. They can't get you from the front. It's a little bit better. Okay, so we're coming up to... There's a wolf. Right, okay, so I'm in Stalker mode, as I like to keep mentioning. So the wolves are going to be more aggressive, and they are going to attack and hunt me, which I'm not used to. Normally I can use the brave Sir Robin approach and run away. That's
find some place to escape this cold.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm working on it. I usually use the brave Sir Robin approach, which is just to run away, basically. But I'm not sure that's going to work in Stalker mode. Oh, particularly since there's 2 of them. Excellent. Obviously, wolves are hostile in the Long Dark. We're all aware that wolves... There's 3 of them! Even better. There's a whole pack. Okay, can I get around the back of here? Oh, come on. Oh, no. Okay, well, I suppose I could light a fire here. But I suspect I'm then going to have 3 wolves on the other side of it waiting for me when when it burns out. But I am now numb. You can see that little red freezing symbol. That means I am freezing. How on earth am I going? There's 4 of them! Oh, one's caught me. One's caught me. Okay, we're going toe to toe with this fella. Have to light the flare.
So cold.
I'm now at risk of hypothermia, which is the last thing I need dealing with this lot. I'll try and fight the wolf away. That's worked. He's gone. Okay. When I say he, it might be she. I'm not sure. You can't really tell. And I'm going to see if I can sneak around the edge without being tagged by it. No, he's tagged. No, no, he hasn't. Okay, good. Oh, I'm never going to get around all 4 of these. I'm at risk of hypothermia. My condition is dropping. My hypothermia risk is increasing. I've just been clocked by one of the other wolves. Generally, this is going well. I'm starting to get slightly concerned that episode 1 of this series might end up being the last episode if I can't outrun these wolves. The bad news is, of course, that they can run up this hill faster than I can. So, and they're also a bit cleverer, so they might be able to come around and get me from this side. I think what's going to get me here is going to be the hypothermia, you know, more than the wolf. Okay, well, this is one way of doing it. I'm really hoping when I come down this side I'm not going to be met by a welcoming committee. Oh, got away with that. Got to be careful with doing that, you could injure yourself. Okay, right. Now for the brave Sir Robin approach. Let's run. Oh, you can't sprint sideways or backwards, I keep forgetting that. That is an update. That is something that they've corrected in the last update. Right, we're doing the brave Sir Robin. You've got to be careful, because there might be another one around this corner. It's one of the downsides of Camp Office. Here's Camp Office. There isn't one, we're good. Okay, hopefully. Have I got a little bit of... Yeah, I've got a bit of sprint left. I'm going to sprint because I'm concerned about the hypothermia risk. We need to get into Camp Office and we need to get in there pretty quick. Oh, you're going to tell me I can't get up that step, aren't you? Oh, well, at least there's a back door. Quick, in through the back door. Phew. Okay, let's see if we can get a fire lit in the stove. Don't know whether... Well, we've got some... Well, we've got the lit flare. I have a tin plug, I have a book, and I am going to use some accelerant because I just want the thing to light. There we go.
That should help warm things up.
I've got 16 minutes on that with that book, and I'm going to chuck a bit on a few sticks on there as well. There we are. So I should get our temperature back up. I'm just going to stand next to it for a minute. I can't get rid of this flare, unfortunately, but here we are. Camp Office, our first location in the game. I think we just about have time to go and have an explore around, but I just need to warm myself up a bit first. Feels like 9 degrees, so hopefully we should be... It's a shame I can't get rid of this blinking flare. Oh, I can drop it. Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. That's going to drop it. Right, so let's have a look what we have in Camp Office. It's always a good location. This is going to be...
snow. Nothing to drink.
Oh, be quiet. Okay, this is a book. Awesome. So this is the researching dynamic, which is new. So I'm actually going to hit that book. I'm going to research for an hour. Obviously, my fire's going to go out. And my flare's going to go out, but that's fine. Cool. So that improves my cooking skills. Excellent. And we can keep researching that. Keep it in our inventory and keep researching it. So that's one of the new things you can do. You can use those particular books to improve your skill levels. So that's kind of cool. We didn't come across that in the Whiteout channel.
This will cover it.
Okay, so we're going to do a bit of raiding. So we've got some stuff. We have a hook. And I guarantee you there's a line, because there always is, because that's your first simple crafting. Sewing kits we use for clothing repairs. And I'll show you how I set up all my base camp stuff. I've already gone through there, haven't I? Once we're kind of all in here and we're all sorted now. But for right now, we're just going to sort of go around. I'm going to bring up my storm lantern. I'm just going to light it. I'm loving these new animations. Okay, so let's just do a bit of searching. Yep, newsprint's cool. We can make tinder with that. Filing cabinets in the game are notorious for not having anything in them. I did notice another storm lantern. I'm actually going to leave that put there because there's no point carrying two of them around. We have some food, some condensed milk, awesome. Oh, we have a bit more over here as well. Summit soda and some herbal tea. And anything around here? I usually end up breaking that chair up fairly quickly for firewood and cloth. And we have a dead dude. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And he's got nothing on him. And here we are, upstairs. This is obviously where the bed is. There's also a spare bedroll in here. That's kind of cool. We have a cupboard. Anything in the cupboard?
Hope I can still eat this.
Summit soda, yep. Obviously we have a stove up here and we have beds. A couple more drawers. And that's it for Camp Office. So this is going to be our base. This is the base I usually set up first when I start on Mystery Lake. So what we're going to do, obviously we've got beds here, so we're not going to wear out our bedroll. Plus we have a spare bedroll anyway. We've got cupboards and drawers that we can use for storage, and there's a stove up here, and obviously that one downstairs as well. We can break down these for firewood to start off with, because we don't really need to actually have them kept. We've got, well, we can break this down for firewood or use it for storage. I'll show you all of that later when we start to gather some stuff. And obviously down here we have plenty of space to work and lay out various things for curing.
Water.
Oh, I was going to sort that out in the beginning of the next video, my friend. So yeah, we're here in our base. We've got a workbench. We've got plenty of shelf space for laying out things to cure, which comes later with our crafting. In fact, let me just put this out so we're not wasting the fuel. And I'll just show you what you can craft in the workbench. We've got, obviously, that old man's beard wound dressing. We're going to go and find some old man's beard, see if we can make one of those. And the torch. We can make a snare to catch rabbits with. We need some cured gut to do that, so we're going to be able to. We're going to have to go and hunt something else first, or find some roadkill. Hook we can make from scrap metal. Obviously, we already have a hook, and we already have a hook and line anyway. But they do break, so it's always worth making a few of these if you're planning on fishing. We've got lines, which again you need cured gut for, but again we already have a couple. Fishing tackle, well let's craft that because we actually have the bits. So let's go ahead and actually craft that. So now we have 2 sets of fishing tackle. Rabbit skin mitts, keep you nice and warm. Obviously you need cured rabbit pelts and cured guts for that. I'll go through all this mechanic later. Deerskin boots, they're pretty awesome, you want some of those. Deerskin pants, again, same thing. Obviously the game's Canadian stroke American. In the UK we call them trousers, we don't call them pants. Wolfskin coat, obviously that keeps you really, really warm. But you need to take out 4 wolves to be able to get it. Bearskin bedroll, now that's going to be a real challenge if you want to do that one. We're going to have to take 2 bears out. Obviously you've got the bow and arrows. And that's about it. There are a few other things which we'll go through as we go along, but for an introductory video I'm going to be keeping a very sharp eye on this here clock, so I really do want to try and keep these to half an hour where it's all possible. So there we go, introduction, new series, new run through the sandbox. So I am going to say for the end of the video number 1, next time around we'll have a look at making water, food, and we'll go and do a bit more scavenging around Mystery Lake. I'll tell you what though, we are going to do our journal, which we started in the last Sandbox series I did, so I'm going to do that again. So what have we done today? We have started a new game in Stalker, which we've never done before. Found our way to Camp Office. Dodged the wolf pack. Whoops, which I completely spelled wrong. And lit our first fire. And that's about it really. So I am actually going to put the date on there. Today's date of this recording is the 18th of October. 2016. So that is what we did on this day, on the 18th of October. Obviously, there goes the alarm, which is meant to be silent. So we'll just turn that off. That's 30 minutes. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Next time around, we're going to do water. We're going to do some food collection, and we're going to start to build up our supply stock here at Camp Office and set up our base camp before we start to spread our wings and go a little bit further afield. I don't want to do that too quickly because we'll die, and we want to try and go as long as I can. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to set ourselves our normal little goals that we've done in past Sandbox games. We're going to try and collect all of the animal clothing, all the animal skin clothing, keep us nice and warm, and we're going to try and do 50 days. In fact, we might try and do 100 days. I think we've done 50 actually. We're going to go for 100 days. That's the target. We're going to make it to 100 days, which will be a new personal best for me. And yeah, brand new Sandbox. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you again very soon for the next video.